Brakateh Yahweh, Brakateh Yahushai, Brakateh Yahweh, Brakateh Yahushai, Brakateh Yahweh, Brakateh Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Chakadash. Belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Tzadakim, that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Alright, I'm the priest, Shimon, and this week's topic is going to be entitled, Evil Men Shall Wax Worse and Worse. Inspired by two clips brothers had posted in the chat. One, first dealing with a war, former head of GMS, Mississippi, and Nate, Bishop Nathaniel of the IUIC, breaking down that the RFID microchip his breakdown was the mark of the beast is sin, and then his congregation started clapping, saying that Esau will bring out an RFID microchip, but it's not the mark of the beast. Therefore, saying, in an underlying way that if you take that chip, you can still be saved, right? And they're just gonna get worse and worse in the bullshit that they teach and straying people away. Let's see where I should start. Verse 2 Timothy 3:10. Pardon me, I'm still kind of fluttered, waking up, going to work. My brain fully hasn't, I feel, woken up yet. But 2 Timothy 3:10 reads, but thou hast fully known my doctrine, right? So there is a particular doctrine that we have to be saved. You have different camps that believe different things, call on the same name, Yahweh Shai, but at the end of the day have different doctrines. So as the Apostle Paul even says, even if an angel from heaven persuades you to think differently, what's our primary doctrine? Some of the primary doctrine, I'm talking about a Great Millstone, and why some of these men come against us, right? It's one, the RFID microchip is the mark of the beast. Also, King Onshah being King David, that's what got a war butthurt. And then you have the grape doctrine, right? The laws concerning grape. There's just so many things, not so many, but there are things, and even if it's one or two different things that you might disagree on, that one or two things might be a difference in salvation, because 1 Corinthians 1:10 tells us that we have to be of one mind. So the elect, Lord willing, when we're on the chariots, Lord willing, we have that number, we're not going to be, oh man, shit, you thought his name was Hashai, and I say how Hashai, we both made it. It's not going to be that way. The Lord's going to have us in one unified thought, right, concerning this doctrine. The scripture is like a maze, like a puzzle maze. You ever see like a maze? And people, in a maze running around trying to find the center, they could be very close towards the center. But that one person that makes that one left, another person that makes that one right, could be the difference in getting to the center of the maze or the exit of the maze, whatever the goal is, all right, and then end up trapped in the maze, right? So we have to, we're going through the Spirit of the Lord, we live with the man of the Lord, that we're going on that right track to, navigate through the maze of the scriptures, all right, the snares and traps that are in this book, that King David prayed would capture a majority of Israel, which it will capture a majority of 2/3 of the traps and snares that are in the Bible, stumbling blocks. Hey man, that made me think of like Indiana Jones when he go for the treasure. There's all sorts of booby traps everywhere and shit. You think you're good, then a fucking stone start rolling down. That's the scriptures. You go ahead and touch it, but there's a whole bunch of traps and snares that if you're not aware of, your ass can get taken. It says, but thou, 2 Timothy 3:10, but thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, and patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch. So the Apostle Paul, and like all men of the Lord, got chastised, with all sorts of physical, mental, spiritual ailments. The Lord washes us in the ancient world sense, which is taking a cloth or whatever material that needs to be washed, you put nitrate on it, and then you beat the shit out of it against a rock. That's how you thoroughly clean it. Even modern day versions of washing machines, if you see to wash your clothes, it's a very violent manner. So the Lord deals with some, men of the Lord when He's purging them of certain things and diseases or whatever in a violent manner. It's not a cakewalk. It says, "But thou hast fully known my doctrine, manner of life, purpose, faith, long-suffering, charity, patience, persecutions, afflictions, which came unto me at Antioch," right? At Iconium, at Lystra. Now, why the hell was Apostle Paul at all these places, right? These Greek places, and he's an Israelite? Because you had Israelites, and that's another stumbling block people can't get, that the Gentiles, that you have a distinction between a natural Gentile and an unnatural Gentile, right? A natural Gentile is a person that belongs to the 17 nations outside of the nation of Israel, and an unnatural Gentile is an Israelite that has adopted the ways, philosophies, thoughts, gods, all that of a natural Gentile. So much that they call themselves the Gentiles, they believe they're Gentiles, they breed with the women of the Gentiles and have children that even start to appear like the Gentiles, but the seed, the one that germinated that individual, and that's an Israelite, So that's the Apostle Paul's mission, to go back to them, to let them know, look, you're an Israelite, your true power is Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Drop that Greek bullshit and get right with the Lord Yahushai, who's come to open up repentance unto you, to buy you back to the Lord. So hence the Apostle Paul is in all these different places, because Israel has been scattered all throughout the world. That's how come when we do these videos, it goes out to the World Wide Web, all right? Because you have Israelites damn near everywhere: Asia, Middle East, America, Africa, damn near Germany, Europe, everywhere, you name it. We're everywhere, all right? It says, what persecution I endured, but out of them all the Lord delivered me. So you have to endure. In the Hebrew, you're called. You have to endure what comes with this truth. There's a lot of shit that comes with this truth, all right? Stuff that's going to grieve your mind, annoy you. Because it's bittersweet, right? It's bittersweet. It's a sweet gospel, knowing that we're going to be delivered and rule over these nations and get retribution for all they've done to us. And we're going to have a society that's going to be run in righteousness with our Lord at the head, and King David the 12 and so on. It's sweet, but to get to that crown, here in Babylon, we're going to go through ups and downs, moments of prosperity and moments of severe adversity. But the ones that endure, finish, cross the line. You have to cross the line. That's how come, I'm under the vibration of, look, man, until we on the chariots, just keep in your mindset, your head, you're not special. No matter what the Lord did for you, you thank Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Always, all right, ups and downs. But until we're delivered, we just got to remain hopeful. We got to remain hopeful. We can't get beside ourselves, all right? We can remain confident with faith, all right, and not doubt. But until we're on the chariots, that's when you're finished, you've crossed the line, you're there, And hell, look at our apostles, man. That's why they're still out there diligently teaching. I'm sure that the Lord have worked many miracles confirming their faith in their minds, but they still look, man, I'm not on the ships yet. I got to go out there and teach, put in my videos, prophesy. So which are great examples to follow, right? Yea, and all that will live godly in Yahushua shall suffer persecution. So wait a minute, that's very contrary to what the churches teach you, right? The churches have a prosperity doctrine, right? They equate, the pastors equate jewelries and fancy cars to the Lord dealing with you, but as we just read in the 12th verse, that if you're going to serve Yahushua, you're going to deal with persecution. Shit ain't going to always go your way, There's times the Lord will be beating you down, you think the Lord's about to make a way, and it just gets even harder. But Ecclesiasticus, the second chapter, tells us, look, man, we have to cleave even 10 times more when situations like that happen and depart not away. It says, but evil men and seducers, that's what we're dealing with, these wicked niggas, right? That seduce people. What the scriptures tell you, the lips of a strange woman drops as a honeycomb, right? So the strange woman is like a strange philosophy. It drops as a honeycomb. It sounds very sweet, you know? It's sweet in someone's mind to know they could still live their life when this chip comes along, right? Oh, the chip comes along, I could take it, whatever. I just gotta still believe. I'll make it, but I gotta continue my business. I need my house. I gotta take care of my kid. Yeah, I need the chip to do it, so I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna have faith. You see, and be delivered. That's sweet because you still get to play the both sides. The persecution, the hard part is listening. I'm gonna have to probably lose every goddamn thing and be a pilgrim because I refuse to take that chip. Hell, death. That's the hard and tough pill to swallow, but it's the truth. You see, it says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse. And we don't try to seduce people, at least not in wickedness. Let me say that. But we pretty much tell you, look, if you don't believe this thing, go about your way. You know, we're not forcing anyone to be here. Nobody's at gunpoint to stay in Great Millstone. You're your own man at the end of the day. You know, it's either our way or the highway. You know, your house shines way or the highway. You know? And Apostle Tahar said something to us. He said, you got to pretend like you're the only one left with this truth, right? You got to pretend you're the only one left with this truth. And if you were the only one left with this truth, would this world be diligently going out there? So that's something I always keep in my mind's eye, all right, to motivate me to just do my lessons and stay in tune with the prophecies. Teach whatever, you know, even if it's repetitious, whatever, just keep teaching, right? It says, deceiving and being deceived. So these niggas out there deceiving people, but guess what? They're of Yahweh. They have the Lord, because the deceived and deceived are His. So the Lord got men out there deceiving to capture people He don't want, and that shows you the terror and the mob-like way almost of the Most High, like in the sense of playing both sides and controlling both parties, the good and the evil parts. That's Yahweh Bashim Shine. That's a fearful thing, because you know, you might think you on the good side. Next thing you know, the Lord is damn. You know, it's the Most High's trick bag is terrible. Yeah, that's why we just pray and hope we're the Lord's elect, man. All right. And some of these guys are sincerely deceived. Some of them took a purse, I believe, like Johanna, you know, the 501c3 charter. And some of them, like Zabak, I believe, just sincerely are deceived, like sincerely think that they, you know, this is what they properly teach, that the mark is not the beast. You know what I'm saying? And then, so it goes both ways like that. That's why you just gotta pray Yahweh Bashim Shine opens your mind, your spiritual eye, to stay down the right path and get this truth the right way. It says, but evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. But continue thou in the things which thou hast learned. Right, so that's what we're doing, man. The Passover is coming up. Passover is coming up. Lord willing, soon, March, or not. I gotta double check. I pray, Lord willing, I make it to that Passover if we're still here in America. But this will be my 12th Passover, right? So I've been continuing in the things that I was told, you know, since I attended the first Passover back in 2011, right? So it's about that, you know. And look, continue in what you have learned until the very end, because you could say I continued 20 years, but if you stopped on year 21, then all that shit has been negated. All right, so it's not about it's about continuing and continuing to the very end. That's the point. All right, in the things that you have learned, you know, a war, you asshole. You've learned that, King David. You even did a show, getting on guys that have once listened to the apostles and turned astray. Now, you know, your own tongue confessed against your current actions. You see, it says, but continue thou in the things which thou hast learned. All right, and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learned them from. Right, so we learn this thing from the Spirit of power, Yahweh Bashim Shai, that used our apostles and elders to give us this truth. All right, and we have to endure in that. Okay, And be assured. The scriptures tell you about be fully persuaded in your own mind. Be fully persuaded in your own mind. You have to believe this thing for yourself. Like I said, if everybody else was to split up and I'm the only one left, do I fully believe everything in the scriptures, and can I teach it correctly, soundly, and with faith? To continue the work, right? So that should be the thought process, right? And for you to have that thought process, you have to fully be assured that this is the truth. Damn near if an angel come down from the heavens and said the mark of the beast is Christianity, you got to be able to stand on your ground and say, hell no, that's not what the scriptures say. So that's being fully assured in your mind. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Ba'ashem Chakadosh. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone Truth World. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Zadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Lord willing, until next time, Shalom.